Hi, Kara, and congratulations on being the lead student this week in your gathering. Hope it goes well for you. I'll make this quick video for you to help explain problems 11 through 13 on exercise B, so hopefully that helps you feel a little more prepared. So I'm going to jump right in. This is my spreadsheet. I've set up on the first row there just some basic information that I'm going to need in order to use the future value equation in Excel. So I need I put year in the first column just because reading the problem I know I'm going to need to do this for 20 years. So I'm going to start off with year 1. My R is going to be my annual interest rate, which is 0.06 or 6%. N is going to be the number of times it's compounded in a year, so that's that 6%, that's going to be 12. PV is going to be my present value, and that's going to start out at 200. I'm going to do a $25 a month payment, and now my rate is going to be simply my annual rate divided by the number of times that it's compounded, and then my N per number of payments, that is going to equal 12, because this is for a year, so there's 12 months in a year, times the number of years, so in this case 1, so it's going to be 12. So now I can use my future value equation, and I can start putting in. So I see there it pops up and tells me I need a rate, which is going to be this rate because it's compounding monthly. And then next I'm going to need number of payments, so it's 12, what the payment amount is, and then what the what the present value is. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to calculate this out. Now, one thing, it shows up as negative. There's a couple of things you can do here. This is really just part of Excel. I don't necessarily love it, but it's because it's for accounting type stuff. I don't know. What I will do is at the beginning, I will say ABS parentheses, and then my equation, and then I got to put another parentheses at the end. What that does is it's going to take the absolute value, or basically it's going to make it positive. The reason why, to me, that just makes sense, especially when you're growing money, like in this case, you're doing it in a savings account. So now I come to year 2, and really all of this information right here stays the same. Nothing about this is going to change. This is all stuff I typed in. My rate is going to be this. It's going to be that same formula where I take the 12 and divide it by 6. And so what I can do is I can drag this down, and it actually reuses that formula. Now, same thing here, that this I set up as a formula because now I can drag that down, and it's going to continue to use that formula. It's going to just move it from row to row. And then now, same thing here, I can drag this down. Another kind of quick feature is if you just double tap in the corner, it automatically brings it down. So I see, there we go, I got my year 2. Now, one thing about Excel that's kind of neat is it's pretty smart, and it knows that people like to do these kind of things and expand it out, so it doesn't want to make it so you have to manually type this out for 20 years. So if I highlight 1 and 2 here, and then I drag this corner, you'll see it says 3, 4, 5. It recognizes that I'm just wanting to count up by 1, so I'm going to go all the way down to 20 because I want to do 20 years. And then I'm going to highlight all these, and I'm actually going to drag them all the way to the bottom. And what it's going to do is anything that has a formula, it's just going to copy the formula for the new row. Anything that was just something we inputted, it's going to keep it the same. So I do that, and boom. Just like that, I've got my 20 years worth. I've got all, you see all these remained the same. This N per is always calculating off 12 times whatever year, so that's the number of payments. Oops. And so then I get my amount over here. I see my future value equation being used, pulling all the information in there. So just like that, we have our 20 years and seeing each year. So now I want to go ahead and graph this. This part, our number 12, it says put it in a graph. So I'm going to highlight this, what I want to graph, those numbers there. And yours may look a little different depending on which version of Excel or and if you're on a Mac or PC, but chances are there's going to be something that says insert, and then you're going to have some different chart options. For this particular one, I like a line chart, and I want some markers on it so that way I can kind of see year over year. I click on that, and it automatically knows it pulls, it just looks at the one data set and automatically puts 1, 2, 3 in sequential order there. And you can see I got that nice little curve going on there. That's what I want to see. When you get interest rates and stuff, you want to see that little bit of curve. It shows it's a exponential growth. You don't want to just see a flat line. So that's how you would make a chart. I'm going to go ahead and delete this so I have some space to work on the last part. So the last part says how much money was paid in the savings account over the 20 years and how much interest was earned. So I'm going to make a couple of new columns. I'm going to say paid amount and interest earned here. So my paid amount is always just going to be my number of payments multiplied by my payment. So in our case, 25. So it's fairly simple, right? And we're going to use that same trick, and I'm going to click that corner and I'm going to bring it all the way down. And so this shows me, after 1 year I would have paid for 1 year I'll pay $300. For 2 years I've paid $600, $900, $1,200. You see it's linear. It's just every year you're adding basically another $300. So now the interest though is where you really start gaining your money. So I want to figure out how much interest I'm getting. Well, the interest is really just, so I have my amount here, my $520, and I paid I had the initial amount of $200 plus the $300 that I added to it. So I've invested $500, but it's actually at $520. So that remaining amount, at $20.72, that's the amount of interest that I earned on this. So I want to set up an equation though that does that for me automatically. So I'm going to say equals 520, and then I'm going to subtract off the amount that I put in, which was the 300, and then I want to subtract off the other amount I put in, which was the principal of this. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and now it tells me, okay, so for 1 year I gained $20.72 in interest. For the next year, for 2 years, I get $61. And I can drag this and I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom. So you can see why it's so beneficial when you do this. You quickly see why it's so beneficial when you invest to leave the money in there, because the interest really starts growing. I mean, you see by year 20, it's worth $12,213, and you've actually only put in that $6,000 plus the principal of $200. So over 20 years, you've put in $6,200, and you've basically gained $6,000 in interest. So that's a real quick tutorial on how to set this up. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Yeah, I hope this helps you out. Feel free, if you want to use this video in your class, you're welcome to share it. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.